Let's go. Let's get this party started, buddy.
Hello, and welcome to our August and September edition of our monthly movie reviews. Now, why did we put both months together, you probably didn't ask? Well, August and September are notoriously the slowest months of the year, besides January if you've already seen all the Oscar bait from good movie season. So we decided to put both months together and hopefully give you some recommendations while good movie season approaches.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish for people? It's like mukbang?
Mile 22 is probably one of the worst action films I've ever seen. This movie is literally completely handheld and it is freaking nauseating. You don't get a second to breathe at all, and it is balls to the wall gunfights and loud noises. The action is shot extremely close up, and there are like 30 cuts a second, so you can't really tell what the hell is going on. It's a real shame. Ronda Rousey is in this film too, and she can't act for the life of her. This movie's only saving grace is that it's short and feels short. They get right to the point right away, and I applaud it for that aspect of it. Everything else is awful and not worth the time and money it would take to see it. Please skip it. 2 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish for people? It's like mukbang?
Axel is really bad. This movie feels like a super softcore Michael Bay action film, but this movie introduced me to Becky G, and this is literally the only positive I have for this movie. Nothing works. The random switches between practical and special effects are awful. The performances are really bad except for Becky G, because she's beautiful and she tries her best. And aspects of the plot literally change gears in the middle of the movie. It is so weird. Don't waste your time with this movie, please. 2 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish for people? It's like mukbang?
This movie isn't funny, it's extremely predictable, and it's a complete waste of time. Nothing is done well except for maybe the puppet work, and I could not believe just how generic this movie was. 2 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish for people? It's like mukbang?
The Spy Who Dumped Me is whatever. Like, it doesn't do anything and it feels like such a whatever of a film. Is anyone else not a fan of Kate McKinnon? I actually despise her acting range. Every character that she plays ranges from annoying to annoying.
What? You're the boss, and yet you have not sacrificed 1 ounce of femininity. That is the Beyonce.
Gosh. The film doesn't know what it wants to be. Does it want to be a rom-com or a bloody spy movie? There was a fight scene in a restaurant that was well done, and Mila Kunis is believable as whatever her character's name is, but this movie is just whatever. 3 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish for people? It's like mukbang?
It reminds me of Skyscraper, except this movie tries way too hard. It felt like they knew what they were doing was absolute bullshit, and that everything was improvised. I do like the way in which the shark came to the real world. It was neat. The performances were whatever, the direction was whatever, everything was just whatever. There were no memorable shark kills, so like what even is the point? There really was none. It feels like a waste of a movie, no lie. 3 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish for people? It's like mukbang?
Predator is one of the dumbest, inconsequential, and disposable films of the year. It has nothing to add to anything. The editing is so bad you can barely make out what happens in any of the action scenes, especially in the end in the forest. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, why did you hire a TV editor to edit your movie, Shane? Why? 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 They made a mockery out of Asperger's, depression, and Tourette's like it was 2008 YouTube.
Bitch! Bitch! Ah! Ah, shit! Where's my fucking glasses?
It seemed to me like the predator of the film was Shane Black, and his prey was the perception of mental illnesses, and his goal was to set it back 30 years. This film is a waste of time, and avoid it if you can. And I'm giving Predator a 3 out of 10.
I saw Predator 2, and same, 3 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish for people? It's like mukbang?
This film is self-indulgent, self-important, and at the same time, inconsequential. And most importantly, this film is boring. It bored me to tears. The story of Blaze Foley is told by people who the audience doesn't care about, but Elias Shawkat from Arrested Development does her best, and she's the shining star of the film. I really wish we got more of her character in the movie, but whatever. Again, I was super bored, and it's a no bueno for me, and I'm giving Blaze a 4 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish for people? It's like mukbang?
To All the Boys I've Loved Before is a run-of-the-mill romantic comedy that has a quirky concept but isn't executed in an interesting way at all. It's watchable, and that's all I can really say about it. Characters do dumb shit for no reason. The extra headroom that was used a lot throughout the film was well-intentioned, but I didn't think it was executed all that well either. There's a lot of strange acting choices that make scenes just fall apart. The film also has this sanitized quality about it that doesn't really ring as authentic to me, and I have no desire to see it again. And I'm giving To All the Boys I've Loved Before a 5 out of 10.
To All the Boys I've Loved Before is shot extremely well, like really, really, really well for a Netflix film. But it's generic and it's very predictable, and the characters are awful. And don't watch this movie if you don't need to, because just watch anything else, please. I'm giving it a 4 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish for people? It's like mukbang?
I am in freaking love with Crazy Rich Asians. I didn't really expect this movie to be any good at all. Even the intro with the racist hotel manager and employee turned me the fuck off real fast, but I had such a great time watching this movie. It's the most cliche, chickiest flick I've seen this year, but there are moments throughout the film that are really sweet and triggered an emotional response for me in the theater. For example, the entire wedding scene when Rachel and Nick were looking at each other and quietly mouthing "I love you" to each other. I was freaking bawling. It was so cute. One of my favorite moments of this year, to be honest. GG, Crazy Rich Asians. GG. 7 out of 10.
Crazy Rich Asians was a tone-deaf nightmare for me. It was basically a more fictional version of an episode of The Real Housewives where most of the movie is basically the wealth equivalent of an Eli Roth or a Michael Bay affair. It was wealth porn. Yeah, let's release a movie in a time where the economic disparity is the worst it's been since World War II, but okay, let's sit through Donald Trump's wet dream but with Asians instead of Ivanka and Ivanka clones. And the director had no idea this was what he did because he said in his DGA Q&A that he didn't care about the wealth aspects, and that shows because he glorified wealth to a point of repulsion.
And what I found, and it wasn't the crazy rich stuff that interests me, all that stuff I don't even care about. It was this Asian American girl going to Asia for the first time. That spoke to me. I remember that.
And he also had no insights into how people worked at all. Just listen to this part about Michelle Yeoh's character.
Michelle, from the very beginning, said, if you want me to be just a villain, then I'm not going to do this movie. I can't do this movie. I can't go home if I do this movie. She's like, I'm going to defend our culture and what we believe to its fullest extent, and you defend the American side of it, and the audience can decide what's best. And so even these little surgical ideas of Ama sort of nudging her about the dumplings and those little things came from her. Came from she wanted to have that complexity to her, and they're literally like one or two lines, but completely paint a different picture of who she is.
Like, how are you not aware that people project what their parents did to them onto other people? Are you not a person in reality? Why are you directing films? How do you direct actors without basic insights into human behavior? Anyway, there's a shot in the film towards the end that was so effective that I got mad that the director didn't put the effort that he put into that one reveal into the rest of the film, because if that was the case, this movie would have been great and not an ethically murky, annoying, and tone-deaf mess. And I would love to dive deeper if we somehow had time, but we don't, because we got so many things planned. So I'm giving Wealth Porn a 4 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish for people? It's like mukbang?
Searching is strange. This is a movie I really don't want to ever see again. The entire movie takes place on screens, and it's weird because it has immediate vibes of those horror films that I deadass can't remember the name of right now. Oh, it's Unfriended! Oh my god, I completely forgot. Okay, yeah. Well, this movie has all of its development on a screen, and it's kind of distracting because we are not used to it. But I do applaud it for being an actual story instead of just bullshit like Unfriended. The twist at the end I kind of saw coming, but watch the movie. It's a fine time, even though I won't ever watch it again. 6 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish for people? It's like mukbang?
All About Nina is another great vehicle for Mary Elizabeth Winstead to show off her range as a dramatic actress, except for when her character is on stage doing stand-up comedy. Now, I'm not going to completely put the blame on her for those scenes falling flat because the choppy editing and the unnecessary lateral camera movements were distracting and took a lot away from her performance. Winstead and Common don't really have a whole lot of chemistry together, and Common is kind of just playing Common the whole time. There's a sex scene that is really out of place in the way that it's executed that that I could make a whole video essay about how this sex scene contributes to the gigantic pile of movies that have sex scenes that don't represent the main character at all. But that is not this video, so whatever. It's satisfying enough for one viewing, but I don't see myself ever coming back to this movie ever again. And I'm giving All About Nina a 6 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish of people? It's like mukbang?
Christopher Robin is fine. It doesn't reinvent anything, and the story just kind of feels like it has been done before, but I had fun watching it. Yes, of course, Pooh and his friends look fucking terrible. Ah! Oh my god, Jesus Christ. They are scary as shit. Oh my god. It's actually very wild that they decided to make them look like this. I get that the time has passed and that he would be raggedy and shit, but whenever I saw anything Winnie the Pooh as a child, it was very happy, not emo. Christ. Also, I had a huge problem with Haley Atwell in the movie. It feels like she was just there to complain and didn't really do anything besides that. Kind of a waste for her. Anyway, this movie's a 6 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish of people? It's like mukbang?
Operation Finale follows a team who goes into Argentina to extract the man who executed the final solution during the Holocaust, Adolf Eichmann. Most of the film is unremarkable except for the scenes that Oscar Isaac and Ben Kingsley have together, and that's basically it. The movie's not that great, it's just okay, and I'm giving Operation Finale a 6 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish of people? It's like mukbang?
McQueen is a documentary about the life of famed British fashion designer Alexander McQueen. I would recommend not looking up anything about his life at all and walking into this film blind. The music is incredibly beautiful and composed by Michael Nyman, who is most known for composing Gattaca, The Piano, and the song you're listening to right now. The thing about the music is that I feel some of the time it's used inappropriately, especially when the people being interviewed break into tears because it comes off as manipulative and annoying because the music is so loud and bombastic. But nonetheless, it's a deeply interesting film about an interesting person, and I'm giving McQueen an 8 out of 10.
What the is going on? Is this a new thing? Is this like a fetish of people? It's like mukbang?
Minding the Gap is a documentary exclusively on Hulu about the lives of 3 boys whose friendship is linked by their love of skating. But what is discovered throughout the film is the other similarities that run deep in their past that dictate their futures. The quote-unquote characters that we follow are interesting, frustrating, and unforgettable. The skating sequences are incredibly well shot and atmospheric. Overall, it's really great, and I would recommend not watching the trailer because the audio bits give away a lot of the story, and it's best if you go into it completely blind. And I'm giving Minding the Gap an 8 out of 10.
This has been Film School with your boy Bam Bam, Action Bronsolino, Queens, New York. I hope we learned something here.